Minka, that is a village in the Nkambe Central Subdivision of the Donga Mountain Division, Northwest region of Cameroon. It is the same time in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, that is where the central news desk of Equinox Television is located. You are welcome to the primetime newscast on Equinox Television. In this edition of the newscast, a fire incident kills one, caused several material damage in the economic capital, Douala. We take you to Boya, where the military says the well-being of the population is their priority. The men in uniform organized a campaign to screen and treat some individuals affected by the worsening Anglophone crisis. In the west region of Cameroon, the Sultan of the Bamoun of Fondom will take part in the CPTM rally expected to be staged tomorrow in the west regional chieftain Bafoussam. Those are the top stories. Colonel Eyenge Severin says the well-being of the population, especially those in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon affected by the worsening Anglophone crisis, is the priority of the Cameroonian army. He was speaking recently in Boya during a health campaign organized by the Cameroonian army to screen and treat individuals affected by the worsening Anglophone crisis. Derek Jato fighting the following reports from Boya.
Everyone here is adversely affected by the war in the Anglophone regions, and most of them fled their homes and are today seeking refuge in Boya subdivision. With the unstable atmosphere and increasing confrontations, this helpless population is unable even to take care of their own health. Many are sick and urgently need medical attention.
Everything be free of charges.
And the 21st Motorized Infantry Brigade says it is answering the call. Today they are starting with a 2 days free consultation and treatment campaign organized here in Bokwango, a village in Boya subdivision. And the campaign is under the supervision of Colonel Eyenge Severin, commander of the 21st Motorized Infantry Brigade, who said the army is not only for the protection of the territory, but also seeing into the well-being of the people on the territory.
We never only protect you. Soldiers, we are there now for protect Una. Even if they pick our blood, we give our blood now for protect Una. So we don't come now for give medicine also for good health. Una sabi say, man will not be in good health go work now. So I tell Una,
the crisis has brought untold hardship, and also present was the divisional officer for Boya subdivision, Mr. Kouamou Kampol, who said the population should collaborate with the army.
People of the ground, they too they get from count on the army of the nation. They get for no say, they too they get for support this army so that they could do their work fine.
These beneficiaries, most of them internally displaced, applauded the health campaign. Center is the venue. Before coming here to Boya, the 21st Motorized Infantry Brigade carried out the same free consultation and treatment campaign in Kupe Maningoba Division, Southwest region.
The Cheges family is among the over 500,000 Anglophones displaced across Cameroon by the worsening Anglophone crisis. The Cheges family that fled the worsening conflict and is now seeking refuge in the town of Njombe in the Mongo division of the littoral region say life is very difficult. After speaking with our reporter in the Mongo division of the littoral region, they indicated that they now live at the mercy of an aging Good Samaritan lady in that part of the Mongo division. More in the following report. They have been forced out of their homes to live in precarious conditions by what many qualify as a senseless war, paralyzing the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. They, like 1,000 other families displaced in and out of Cameroon, have continued to suffer because of what Human Rights Watch in its most recent report qualified as the lack of genuine will by the governments of Cameroon and separatists to dialogue in order to end the suffering. In this plank house in the computer quarter in the heart of the town of Njombe, in the Mongo division of the littoral region of Cameroon, are 17 internally displaced persons who depend solely on this aging good Samaritan mother to be able to eat. Why will I not assist them? Should I allow them to stay without food? No, this is not possible. Yesterday I went out to get some leaves so we can be able to eat. Now we share everything together.
If we will be chopped two banana, we will chop that 1.5 for 3 people. So we something they eat.
Loveline Chege, eldest child of the displaced family, recalls when darkness befell the family.
Everything started with the situation there in Southwest, with the insecurity, the gunshot. We were not able to live there. We ran away and came here.
Having fled the troubles of war, they now live the troubles of life.
Things are not easy. Even to eat, to dress is not easy. We are 17 of us in this house.
Loveline says they now do things they have never thought of doing just to be able to survive.
We are doing a job, what we call here Pambe, and they pay us 2,000 for that period, 7 to 6, 2,000.
Like Loveline, a degree holder in French language, who lost her job as a French teacher in Tico, her junior brother, Jomo also lost his job as an electric technician. Cooked food is hardly sufficient given the amount expected to eat from these poor. Because of the limited financial means, Loveline's junior sister is obliged to tend to some concoctions in order to be able to save the life of their sick junior brother. The displaced family do not have beds, and everyone is obliged to sleep on the floor, notwithstanding the difficulty.
Mosquitoes are too much.
Amidst the unending daily difficulties, the mother of the house foresees more challenges as September approaches. Rendered jobless and homeless by the worsening Anglophone crisis, the lady with a large family, depending on the aging mother in Njombe in the Mongo division of the littoral region, say her children might not be able to go back to school come September 2019 because of the increasing difficulties in getting finances. Their cry is for the senseless war in the 2 English-speaking regions of Cameroon to end so they can be able to go back home. We now know why the first deputy mayor of the Buea Council, Motombi Emmanuel Mbomie, was dismissed. According to the mayor of the Buea municipality, Ekema Patrick Esonge, the first deputy mayor has been consistently absent at a time when the city of Buea became a target of separatists. More with Derek Jato from Buea.
The Buea Council session that ushered out the first deputy mayor of the said council, Mayor Motombi Emmanuel Mbome, was sacked from his office at this plenary session devoted for the examination and adoption of the Administrative Management and Stores Management account for 2018, which stood at 1,577,181,330 francs CFA. This session, as tradition demands, started with the roll call, and the Secretary General of the Buea Council took the floor to do just his job.
President Chair.
And that is the name. The call was answered by silence. Mayor Motombi Emmanuel Mbome is absent, but his absence is felt. Some say they knew the end from this beginning. Mayor Ekema Patrick Esonge will later take to the rostrum and requested for the rules binding the operation of councils, and told his collaborators that Mayor Motombi Emmanuel Mbome has been absent at a time that he is much more needed. He added that he cannot work alone, nor with people that are absent. His immediate assistant, second in command, left him when the town is a target, at a time that the separatist fighters are opening fire in broad daylight, and at a time that the war against Ghost Town is still on. Mayor Ekema Patrick Esonge defended that it is on this aforementioned premise that Mayor Motombi Emmanuel is removed as the first deputy mayor of the Buea Council.
the case of cancellations of election where for any other reason the mayor or deputy mayor cease to discharge their duties, the council shall be convened to replace them within a maximum period of 1 month. Within a maximum period of 1 month. Within a maximum period of 1 month. Section 65.
And Councillor Ekome William Lifange is now the 4th deputy mayor, and this council session and the outcome of the said session is today the talk of the town in Boya. Mayor Mutombi Emmanuel Mbome, now Councillor Mutombi Emmanuel Mbome, was seen by Pundit as Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge's best man, someone they always appear together, especially on public stage. They say he was a political and non-political ally. Councillor Mutombi Emmanuel Mbome has not said a word, nor responded to the action taken against him. The same session also witnessed the dismissal of Chief J. Mandenge as the councillor of the Buya Council on the basis that he signed a document on behalf of the Southwest Chiefs Conference calling on the chief to boycott the 20th May celebration. And to the Buya Council, his action was too unpatriotic.
In that same session, the councillors of the Buya Council went ahead to dismiss a traditional ruler, Chief Nje, who is equally the councillor and a traditional ruler of Wunja, another village in the Buya subdivision, southwest region of Cameroon. And the issue of insecurity is not specific to the northwest and southwest regions, call it the English-speaking regions of Cameroon. It is also a problem of several parts of Cameroon, notably the far north region of Cameroon. Recently, inhabitants of some localities of Mayochanaga, a division in the far north region, went to the streets protesting against the high level of insecurity. Immaculate Fogwe has more on the story.
Turu, Gossi, Gachicha, Rum, Tufu, and Machicha, all in the Mayochanaga division of the far north region, are the most hit localities experiencing continuous attacks carried out by the Boko Haram terrorist group. Members of the terrorist group have burnt down villages, slaughtered animals, and going to the extent of killing human beings. Due to the high rate of insecurity in the area, most of the inhabitants were forced to flee away to safer areas. Over 400 members of the Rapid Intervention Battalion B were sent to these localities. Yet, the security of the area is still threatened. It is for this reason why inhabitants of these localities have stormed the streets, protesting against the high rate of insecurity in the area and the need of increasing elements of the forces of law and order. We are tired of the continuous killings. The Boko Haram sect have been terrorizing the population for several years now. We want the authorities to reinforce security in the area.
Le Boko Haram entre, il y a Machichia. Ils descendent sur le terrain et il fait 4 heures de temps.
When those guys arrive here, within 4 hours they kill local inhabitants, slaughter animals, and equally burn houses. After carrying out all these acts, they leave without facing any confrontation. The only way of addressing the situation is to reinforce the number of security officers in the area.
Bon, militaire, ça ne suffit pas.
Inhabitants of this area are pleading on authorities concerned to act fast in addressing their plights.
And from the far north region, we come back to the economic capital Douala to talk about a fire incident that led to the death of one person in the city of Douala today, and equally leaving enormous material damage. The fire incident broke out in a casino at the Carrefour Ideal neighborhood of Aqua, which is equally the economic or the business center of the city of Douala. The exact cause of the fire incident remains unknown, but we shall be coming back to that in subsequent editions of news on Equinox Television. and the Sultan of the Bamoun Fondom, who is equally the head of the CPDM permanent delegation of the West region of Cameroon, has indicated that he will be present during the CPDM rally that is expected to be staged in the West regional chief town, that is Bafoussam, come tomorrow, Saturday, July the 20th, 2019. The Sultan of the Bamoun land, in a release made public today, says information circulating on social media that he will boycott the peaceful march is false, or they are false rumors circulated by individuals he do not know. He equally indicated that the march is to brandish support to President Paul Biya and denounce activities of the Brigade Anti-Sardina, which is equally a group that recently manifested in Geneva, Switzerland during the European visit of President Paul Biya. And now we talk something else. The Cameroon custom duties have laid hands on fraudulent imports of rice. The over 500 bags of rice was intercepted in the economic capital Douala, precisely at the Douala seaport. Hemine Luga tells us more.
Is exactly the poor quality of rice some traders mix up and repackage for resale in local markets in Cameroon. Fortunately for consumers, this stock won't be consumed. Approximately 500 bags of the illicit rice has been seized by the customs services, an action which falls in line with the struggle to put an end to illicit trade all over the National Triangle.
Nous avons mis sous scellé 2 magasins.
We have closed 2 warehouses and we have seized close to 500 bags of rice.
Nous nous retrouvons à près de 500 sacs saisis. Et là, ils sont en train de.
The traders are playing with human health because this rice is not good for human consumption.
Propre à la consommation humaine. Au-delà des sanctions administratives.
Amid the administrative sanctions, given that it is a serious situation, we will channel the file to the courts. 2 options have been given by the regional delegate of trade, Belinga Omba Simon, to the seized rice. Firstly, the destruction of the said rice, and secondly, going for a deal with poultry owners. Just in previous months, this 2019, the customs services has so far seized illicit goods worth 1.65 billion CFA francs. Meanwhile, in 2018, goods worth 1.5 billion CFA francs were seized. For this year, strategic moves have been taken, sidelining as first targets the littoral, southwest, northwest and west regions, with the second engagement being the center, south and east regions, and the last target being the Adamawa, north and far north regions. According to stakeholders, contraband goods and illicit trade makes the state lose approximately 200 billion CFA francs each year. This is exactly.
Unsuccessful candidates of the 2019 baccalaureate examination, especially those of Government High School Kumasi in the city of Douala, are yet to come together, or to come back to come to terms with the fact that they could not make it in this examination. Recently, at their center in the city of Douala, they expressed dissatisfaction over what they qualified as errors. They believe that such errors committed by their teachers led to their failure in this year's baccalaureate examination. More in the following report. Of Government Technical High School Kumasi Douala in a state of confusion after the official release of the 2019 baccalaureate examination results. Visiting their school, the students could not find their names on the official list of successful candidates, but observe an error which they believe could be the cause of their failure.
Ça fait il y a plus de 4 jours que les résultats sont dehors, mais on fait que nous dire que les résultats sont indisponibles. J'ai tapé mon matricule plus de 5 fois.
The students say the official list of successful candidates pasted at Government High School Kumasi is labeled probatoire instead of baccalaureate.
Au centre d'examen, nous sortions avec le sourire, mais nous sommes surpris que.
Unable to tell if they have actually failed or the absence of their names is related to any form of error, the unfortunate candidates turned to the school principal. The school principal Ren Chantal Ebongengo questioned if the disgruntled students were hardworking students. She further demanded that each and every one of them forward their class averages to Office Jubag, the body in charge of organizing such examinations in the French subsystem of education in Cameroon. The students say they, as the most brilliant students in class, could not have possibly failed the examination, though the principal insisted that no error was done at the level of the school. The unfortunate candidates have forwarded a petition to Office Jubag in order to be able to tell if they have actually failed the 2019 baccalaureate examination or not, and even went further to demand to see their original scripts. And now we talk AFCON 2019 Egypt. Today is the D-Day. The finals will be disputed today between the Algerian national side against Senegal. Here with me in the studio on the smart page of the AFCON 2019 is Simanjikan Gabriel. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening to you, Femi Armstrong.
Today is the D-Day.
D-Day, as you rightly put it, and it is a day that the finals will be played. We are going to straight away, getting into the affairs straight away to tell you that the Algerian side and Senegalese side trained for the last time. That was yesterday. But we'll first of all begin with Algeria. Desert Foxes who trained yesterday, and for now there is no major injury case within the ranks of Algeria, as we were told at the end of their training session. And the same training session was the same that we recorded with Senegal, but as we mentioned, the Desert Foxes of Algeria, they are going for another historic hit should they beat Senegal to pick up the African Nations Cup that will be played later on this evening. It will be 8 p.m. Cameroon time, and of course 9 p.m. at their time out there in Egypt. Another side that will be confronting the Algerian side is Senegal. The Triangle Lions of Senegal also had their last training session. That was yesterday in Egypt, and of course they had the time to discover the pitch where they will be playing to. That was yesterday, the Cairo International Stadium. And one bad news is that Koulibaly, who is one of the key players of Senegal at the defensive phase, is not there, but many will be looking up to this guy they call Sadio Mane, who will be leading the attack of Senegal alongside others like Dieng, who will be leading the attack. Now, talking about these two sides, their road to the finals, we begin with Senegal. The road to the finals of Senegal, say Algeria. How did they qualify to the final stage? Senegal, as we already have there, Senegal actually played a wonderful game, and of course, unfortunately, they managed to score just 7 goals in their matches that they play, or 8 goals, and they made 2,380 passes. Pass accuracy was 80%. 83 shots were made by Senegal as they struggled to the finals. They had one defeat in the hands of Algeria that they will be meeting today, and they recorded 2 victories against Kenya and also Tanzania. Talking about Algeria, the road to the finals, they were so magical. They scored the highest number of goals of this tournament, 12 goals. Passes that they made compared to Senegal, they are less. They had 2,127 passes. Pass accuracy compared to Senegal is 76 for them and 80%. And shots on target, Senegal still had more. We had 73 shots for Algeria and 83 for Senegal. Now, talking about Senegal itself in this African Cup of Nations, the Teranga Lions have gone on their best ever African Cup of Nations trophy that we are talking about. They have gone on 3 straight matches, or 5 matches undefeated, as you can see from our figures that we're presenting there, against Kenya, against Uganda, Benin and Tunisia. It is the best run of results that the Teranga Lions have presented this far in their history in the African Cup of Nations. Now we talk about the coaches of Senegal. They are the ones who coaches of the two sides. First of all, this guy they call Aliou Cissé. He was one of those who missed the penalty for Senegal, that when they played in 2002. And Belmadi, both teams, they have both coaches, they know themselves so well. They lived in the same town in France, so meeting now is just something that most of them will be saying that it's home glory that will be taken back home. Now, talking about the coaches this evening, I want to say the referees, I want to say that those who handle the game, Cameroonians will be again in the limelight of the finals this evening. We have Alium Sidi who will be handling the match alongside Mekwande Evaris and Elvis Nupwe. One good thing for us to note is that Alium Sidi has overseen 5 matches of Algeria, and all of the 5 matches Algeria has never been beaten. 4 victories and 1 draw for Algeria. So Alium Sidi seems to be one of those persons who is going to be a star for the Algerian side. Now finally we'll finish with the CAF. You remember yesterday CAF had some draws. We had already preliminary draws for the African Nations Cup 2021 that will be hosted by Cameroon. For the preliminary matches, we have Liberia against Chad, South Sudan against Seychelles, Mauritius against Sao Tome and Principe, Djibouti versus Gambia. That is it that we saw. And of course, to note that the preliminary matches will be coming up before the matches themselves that will be having the different group matches. There are a total number of 12 groups that have been formed already, and to know that Cameroon, that will be the host nation, will play in Group F, though they are already qualified, being that they are the host. They will play alongside Cape Verde, Mozambique, Rwanda, and you have the likes of Tunisia that will be playing in Group J alongside Libya, Tanzania, Equatorial Guinea. And those who will be playing the finals this evening, Algeria, we are seeing them in Group H alongside Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Senegal in Group I, Senegal, Congo, Guinea-Bissau, and Eswatini. And the third place country at the African Cup of Nations that just ended, the winners, Nigeria, they have been grouped. They are in a group that has some little names, though not so little, but we have Nigeria, Benin, Sierra Leone, Lesotho, and of course those are the countries. But you know, qualifiers will begin some months after. And good news for Cameroon at that African CAF event was the appointment of Dieudonné Happy. He is going to be the man in charge of governance for a 4-year mandate. Samuel Etofis is going to be in charge of monitoring the federations, national and international, for CAF. And DJ Drogba was brought into CAF as persons that will be helping CAF in doing their work effectively.
Thanks very much, Smart Jikangebe. And that was the smart part, that is the smart page of the AFCON 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being with us. Up next, we'll be having Talking Point. And we are sorry we'll not be having talking points in this edition of the news, of course, due to time constraint. We promise you we'll be coming back to some key issues in subsequent editions of news on Equinox television. That was it we had time for. Thanks for your kind attention. We leave you in a company of programs on your #1 TV channel. Stay blessed.